everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We compare old label early times versus new label early times. Which is better? Stay tuned to find out. Alright, so I had a ton of people asking me, Bourbon Bill, is the new Sazerac owned early times as good as the old Brown-Forman? Actually, in truthfulness, no one asked me, but I figured I would do this anyway. So, before we get into it tonight, I have to give a special shout out to John from Gentleman and Whiskey. Please check out and subscribe to their YouTube channel if you have not done so already. I will link in the description right to their YouTube page. So they're out there making great content. Please check them out. Now, this review tonight would not have happened if John did not provide me the bourbon to do so. So again, all thanks tonight to John from Gentleman and Whiskey. Alright, so now let's get into it. As everyone knows, Brown-Forman sold the early times label to Sazerac. And everyone's been, on pins and needles. Will it be as good? What's the difference? A couple people have already done kind of YouTube videos on this, so these have been poured blind by my wife tonight. But before we get started, let's take a look at the bottle, shall we? Alright, there it is. The beautiful early times bottled in bond bottle. Now this is the Sazerac bottle, the new Sazerac bottle. It's a little different than the Brown-Forman. We still retain some key wording here. Early times, established 1860, bottled in bond, 100 proof. It's all the same. Now, of note if you did not, this is a 1 liter. That's right. Ain't no small 750 mil here. This is a big old bad 1 liter. Alright, let's take a look at the back and see what's on that side. Nothing really. Kind of just tells you about Bottled in Bond Act. How it's the product of 1 season's distillate, aged under government supervision for at least 4 years. Now here, people are asking, there's some minute differences in the bottles, but people are asking, how can you tell if it's Brown-Forman or Sazerac? I can tell right away. Right here in the back of the label it says, we love to hear from our customers. www.sazerac.com. Could they make it any more clear that this is now the Sazerac bottle? Okay, it says that right there. Alright, so now you might say, where's the other bottle? Well, John didn't have a full bottle to loan me, so I got this fun little mini sampler bottle here. And I have a blown up picture, but can I just, again, we'll shout out Gentleman and Whiskey one more time. Look at these custom made sample bottle labels. How sweet is that? We got tasting, bottle, proof, type. His handwriting's not bad. Maybe his wife wrote that. But over here on the side, the little logo. Boy, that is sweet. Alright, now, these are poured by my wife blind. We have tonight Christmas colors. And no, it's not Advent calendar season. Red and green. So we'll start with the old red here and give her a sniff. Gosh, that smells good. I get a lot of like oak, vanilla, a lot of caramel coming all over the nose. I get, again, it's mostly caramel, some oak in the background, some vanilla, just your kind of traditional bourbon flavors. A pretty dang good nose, though, I will say, for, roughly a 4-year-old product, although it's not age stated. Let's give it a sip. That's pretty good. That is good. I get kind of like a fruit pie, like the crust of a fruit pie. I get a lot of the caramel in there. It's pretty sweet overall. Some confectioner sugar on there. You know what this screams to me? Traditional Brown-Forman palate. If you have had Old Forester 100, Old Forester 86, Old Forester 1897, bottled in bond, wink wink, tastes a lot like that to me on here. I'm going to guess that this is actually the Brown-Forman version. Now let's see if the green glass here is any different. On the nose. I get the oaks there. Very, also smells very Brown-Forman-esque here on the nose. Actually, I'm getting almost like a hint of bananas on the nose on this. Overall sweet. I get a lot of caramel, like that little bit of oaks there in the background as well. Pretty good smelling nose. Let's go back to back here though. I get like pie crust versus like slight banana. That's kind of the difference between those two on the nose. Other than that, very similar notes. Let's take a sip. What happened? None of those flavors from the nose that smelled so good translated to the palate. I got like a very unsweet oak, little bit of youthful grains, and like just like a general like, I don't know, stevia plant sugar sweetness. I kind of lost a lot of the notes that were on the nose on this. Let's take one more. Very bland on the palate, actually. The flavors kind of like subdue and then just kind of muddle together. It's not bad, but you know what? It tastes like a cheap bourbon. It really does. So right after that, let's go back to the red glass. I mean, the red... Now I'm getting like a graham cracker. I guess it's that pie crust coming off this nose. Let's take another sip of this. Winner, red glass. A lot more flavors on the red glass. They come through kind of what was on the nose, translates to the palate, kind of how you would expect. The flavors are good, bold enough, right? Feels about 100 proof, which is what it is. And it's dang good. Now, one must remember that these are like $25 bottles for a liter. Okay, we gotta remember that. Are they both worth that? Absolutely. But is one better than the other? Absolutely. So again tonight, the red glass one for me. They kind of both smelled like Brown-Forman, but I actually think the red glass was the Brown-Forman and the green glass was a new Sazerac. But let me grab the answer key, see if I was right. Alright, I was right. Green glass was the new Sazerac, and the red glass was the Brown-Forman. So, sad to say, for all those early times bottled and bond lovers, I am sad to say it. It got worse. It got worse. When it was sold to Sazerac, it got worse. It's still a good cheap bourbon, yes, but it's not what you remember, I will say that. So, I know the Bourbon Junkies did an episode on this. I think several other people have as well. And unfortunately, it's bad news. The sale to Sazerac and the new label is not as good. So, if you can still find that old Brown-Forman bottle, my gosh, snatch it up. Snatch it up. Because once it's gone, it's gone. If it was your favorite low-budget sipper, snatch it up while you can find it. So if you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more. Have a great evening, everybody.